Welcome to Pop-O-Holics, show about hot takes hotter than hot, tasty pancakes, where we are having a weekly upload. Welcome to the weekly upload. As per every weekly upload, until I get a new guitar, I just want to announce that my Martin guitar is starting to split in half, and Martin, I want a new guitar. But that's not why we're here today, to use our platform and abuse it so we can yell at companies that have done us wrong. Martin guitar. We come here today so we can talk about pop culture. I am your host, Christian Cady, and I'm joined as always by my two best friends,
Chris Conkling
and Brian Dupree.
And
Christian, do you want me to tag Martin Guitar?
Yes.
In
you said this isn't what we're
description?
doing, but it's the top of the show. You seem pretty adamant about calling them out here.
You know, the top of the show is fine, but the side of my guitar severely splitting in half.
There it is. Major dunk.
Major dunk on Martin. But no, we don't talk guitars here, unless a manufacturer sells you a defective guitar and doesn't seek to replace it in a timely fashion. We talk about all things pop culture. So what does that mean for this episode? Well, for YouTube watchers, we're going to be covering, Brian's going to bring us the wacky news. We got a lot of news on the docket. And then for our podcast listeners exclusively, we talk about what we've been consuming, which Brian saw Pig, the new I almost said John Cage. Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage.
What the fuck is John Cage? I don't know, but you don't want to mess with
It's a Nicolas Cage variant.
Yeah, he needs to be put in. He needs to be pruned. We're going to be talking about the Paul McCartney documentary, which Chris watched, and then I've seen No Sudden Move, and so has Brian, and that's available on HBO Max. So I'm very excited to dive into this. Oh, and then we have community feedback. Can't forget. But let's start the way we always do on the show, which is with Brian's Wacky News Corner.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Wacky News Corner. So we have got some breaking news as of today. You may have heard about it by the time this drops, but Jordan Peele has tweeted out news for his latest movie that he wrote and directed called Nope. So this is scheduled to come out July 22nd of 2022, and it's going to star Daniel Kaluuya, who he's working with again, as well as Keke Palmer and Steven Yeun. So aside from the poster that he released, which is basically a oddly shaped cloud with a flag tail hanging from it.
It's like a scary cloud.
Scary cloud or something, yeah. There's very little known about this aside from the release date, but after Get Out and Us that we covered on the podcast, we're pretty big fans of Jordan Peele. And hearing that his new project is imminent a year out, I'm pretty excited about this, especially with these actors tied to it. So what do you guys think about Nope? Were you able to see the new poster?
Yeah, I'm really excited for it too. And as always, the Pop-O-Holics, coincidentally, I guess, are always on the pulse of what's going on. Because last Thursday, we dropped our Throwback Thursday episode of our Get Out discussion with Darren Vance. And it couldn't have been better timed. I love Get Out. I loved Us. I'm super excited to see what he does next. So yeah, I'm all in for this.
What was the question, Brian?
What do you think about Nope, obviously the new Jordan Peele documentary, and if you saw the poster that he released, that he tweeted out today for it?
Nope.
All right. Yep. I should have seen that one coming. So, yeah, like I said, we're all big fans of that. Do you have anything to say about this, Christian? Genuinely?
Nope.
All right. That's it.
No, you know, Jordan Peele, he's great. Yeah, of course. I don't know if there's a lot to go on with the poster, but I should have saw the poster. I'll look at the poster right now. Listen, this is bad podcasting. Let me
go ahead and check out the poster.
Let me follow the poster, take a look at it.
We give us your live reactions to the poster,
do a live
Christian.
poster
I'll toss up
reaction.
the poster for the viewers.
I'm going to put in the first shot on the video. This is the first shot. Oh, it didn't work. That's not going to work. It's going to be too complicated. It's just a picture of Jordan Peele. When I opened the website, I was like, little vein. Yes, reminds me of the cover of the Circus Survive record, where it's like a girl being dragged by a balloon. She's over like a city.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe people are being sucked up in the cloud. Like
maybe the cloud's like eating people.
Yeah, I was getting a little bit of like UFO vibes potentially. We just watched Close Encounters recently. Something flying above the city.
It does have like the same font as like Independence Day. And that is shaped like a UFO for sure. That's a spacecraft.
I would be
A
down
little bit of the vibes.
for a Jordan Peele alien movie. That would be kind of dope.
100%.
Nope. Sounds dope. I did it. Yep. Dad jokes
Put it on the
galore.
poster. Jordan Peele.
I see. You do it for my awful jokes, but not for yours. I get it. Okay.
This is the power of the host, Chris. Don't upset him.
I can't upset the glorious host.
Yeah, because if you upset the host, you know what happens.
You go ghost.
You go ghost.
Didn't happen.
So yeah, that's Jordan Peele's Nope that's coming out next summer. So I'm sure once trailers start dropping for that, we'll talk about this again. So we've got some new casting news as well. Leslie Grace has been cast as Barbara Gordon / Batgirl in the new Warner Brothers DC movie that is going to premiere exclusively on HBO Max, not in theaters. So this is a change for them. Leslie Grace recently starred as Nina in The Heights and was really great in that. For those of you who saw that, this was the first thing I had seen her in, but obviously it's she's kind of popping off right now. I don't know too much about this character outside of the minimal Batman that I've read. Chris, are you excited for the Batgirl movie that's coming to HBO Max?
I am cautiously optimistic, Brian.
The fact that it's being released on HBO Max is probably fair to be cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, we kind of talked about this movie months ago. At some point we've talked about this and how like Joss Whedon was initially involved with the script and he was originally meant to direct, and then all that shit went down with Justice League and WB fired him, or he left of his own volition. So this movie's kind of been bouncing around for a long time, just like most DC movies have been bouncing around between directors and writers for a long time. And the fact that now it's only going to HBO Max doesn't give me a whole lot of hope in terms of quality, but who's to say? We know so little about this movie other than who's going to be playing Barbara, and who's writing it and directing it.
The writers Christina Hodson, and the directors are Adil El Arbi and Bilal Fallah,
who I believe were just finished working on Miss Marvel, right? So,
that's right. Yeah.
I'm not going to pass judgment until I see the flick. Right?
Or at least do my
best to do that, or the trailer.
Sure.
We'll put it up for the trailer, but as of right now, I'm cautiously optimistic.
I'm just so sick of Hollywood, man. It's like they couldn't find a bat.
You're looking a little like Dr. Manhattan right now. I just want you to go full on like, I'm sick of Hollywood. I'm sick of their toils. This is a
right to Mars.
Yes.
You totally missed my like typecast. Forget. Never mind. It was a bad joke.
Are you Algae Rhythm?
I am. They couldn't find a bat to play Batgirl. Hollywood. Terrible. Am I right? That Terrible. Was the joke. It sucked. Brian, what's up on the? It's
right over my head. So yeah, that's Leslie Grace, who is cast as Batgirl for the new.
Not a bat. Christian's upset.
Not. Will she be able to pull it off? Well, time will tell. The next piece of news. So Neil Gaiman has had quite a handful of years in terms of adaptations. His book Good Omens was adapted into a show, as well as his book American Gods. The Sandman was adapted for Audible, as well as being currently adapted for a show on Netflix. And now it's been announced that another of his books that he's been trying to have adapted pretty much since it was written is coming to Amazon Prime. So Neil Gaiman's Anansi Boys is being developed by Prime. And the summary of this movie is it follows Charlie Nancy, a young man who is used to being embarrassed by his estranged father, Mr. Nancy. But when his father dies, Charlie discovers that his father was Anansi, trickster god of stories. He also learns that he has a brother, and chaos ensues. So this character, I haven't read Anansi Boys personally, but some of these characters are in American Gods, which I have read. So Gaiman will have these things where characters will reappear in some of his stories. Anything that he writes, I think I can recommend it to someone without even reading it.
Can we clarify something really quick?
Of all time. Sure.
The word that you keep saying is Anansi. Correct?
Anansi.
You are not saying a Nazi boy.
No, Anansi.
Okay.
Anansi Boys.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I just want to clarify because I heard it and I just thought it was a different type of flick.
No, yeah, it isn't. I don't know if you guys have heard of this one or have seen any other Gaiman stuff. We have covered one of his stories, the prequel that he did for the Sandman series, which probably was not a great place to start you guys on the Sandman, but I apologize for that. But yeah, like I said, anything from Gaiman, I am looking forward to. The fact that it's coming to Prime is going to be easily accessible. Are you guys interested in this at all? Not being maybe as into Gaiman as I am.
No, I'm totally down for this. I loved Good Omens. I've read a couple of his shorter stories. We, like you said, we read Sandman Overture. The Anansi Boys is actually something that has been recommended to Christian and I in the past.
Okay.
You know, mutual friend Nick Hishma, who we've had on the show before for our Dark City episode, when we were in college, tried to get both of us to read this book. He spoke very highly of it. And I completely agree with you, Brian, in that I think Neil Gaiman can do no wrong. I've never read anything bad from Neil Gaiman. So I wholeheartedly agree that you could recommend any of his work to anybody and they'll probably enjoy it. So I'm excited for this. Dude.
Hey, I'm not gay, man, but Neil Gaiman, I'm game, man.
Okay.
I think that says it all.
Oh, by the way, Brian, I just wanted to clarify. I'm holding the Tesseract, and it's off screen, which is really what's giving you this hue.
Christian is about to warp out of this into his own series on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Let me just put the Tesseract over it. Oh God, I gotta put a blanket over it or something.
It's so bright.
Honestly,
Brian.
that Tesseract is going to run out of batteries shortly if any time.
Not if it's plugged in. Brian.
All right, there you go.
What's next on the news docket?
So yeah, the next piece of news. I don't know exactly what this means functionally, but Lionsgate has acquired the global rights to Clerks 3. So my understanding of this is that they are the ones who are going to distribute this globally. I'm not sure if they're also involved in the production side, but I know for his last movie, Kevin Smith did this kind of roadshow release where he drove around independently to select cities over time before there was any sort of wide-scale release. So
not only his last movie, but the last few movies that he released, he's used that method to distribute them.
So it looks like Hollywood's kind of bringing him back into the fold with this one and giving him a big platform. And Clerks 3, his movies are all kind of meta and obviously very silly, but this one may be the most meta so far.
Tell us the synopsis, Brian.
So basically, this is the characters from Clerks making a movie about their jobs. So it's basically about the making of Clerks using the characters from Clerks. I'm 100% here for this as a fan of Kevin Smith. This is right up his alley. And the main character has recently recovered from a heart attack, Dante, just as Kevin Smith
I think
did.
It's Randall. Randall's actually going to be the lead in this one.
Randall has had a heart attack. And yeah, I'm totally here for this. I've also done a Kevin Smith month, so we have largely watched all of his movies as well, to various levels of enjoyment.
Such a great
Clerks
month.
3?
No, that month is well documented as being Christian's favorite month that we've ever done.
Number one, yes,
pretty much.
So
Chris, I know you're excited. You can't wait to buy a Moogie Cow burger and a movie.
They do have actual movies around the country now as well.
They do, yeah. Movie pop-up shops, yeah.
Hey,
yeah, I haven't been to one, but I do have a Movies Cup from when I went to the Secret Stash in Red Bank, New Jersey, many years ago.
Nice.
Of course, I'm excited for this movie. I'm a huge Kevin Smith fan, and regardless of how ridiculously meta this synopsis sounds, I'm excited to see Brian O'Halloran come back. I'm excited to see Rosario Dawson come back. Everybody's coming back for this flick, and I'm just pumped for it. We thought that Jay and Silent Bob reboot was kind of be like the last thing that he was going to do in the View Askew universe. It seemed kind of like everything he's ever done, all of his friends that he's ever worked with were just like all in that movie. So it seemed like a good send off. So I never thought we were going to get Clerks 3, but I'm very excited that it's happening.
I am certainly going to have to watch it for the show.
You probably will.
Just for completion's sake.
And it will be a movie. Sorry.
So yeah, that's Clerks 3 that will be widely available at some point, which is still, in the early stages of production right now. Moving on to some stuff that's coming out this week. Starting out with some TV shows. This Thursday, coming to HBO Max, we've got Jellystone! Exclamation point. The summary of this show is Yogi Bear, Cindy Bear, Huckleberry Hound, and other residents of Jellystone cross paths in fun and ridiculous ways, turning everyday activities into hilarious pandemonium. So this is developed by C.H. Greenblatt, who also created Chowder on Cartoon Network, as well as Harvey Beaks on Nickelodeon. So
that
well
makes
established.
Sense.
Yes, when you see the animation style, it definitely tracks with the former shows that he's done. Produced by Warner Brothers and based off of the characters of Hanna-Barbera. This is probably going to be a kid's show, although it looks like the type of show that will have some humor that definitely is aimed at adults that kids won't get from the trailer, at least. I think if you have kids, I know I grew up watching the Hanna-Barbera stuff and have sympathetic feelings towards Yogi Bear, even though this probably is not very much aimed at me.
Now,
but
does Yogi Bear interact with, like, I don't know, other characters from other Warner Brothers properties?
I think literally every Hanna-Barbera character, but at least it's contained to Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah, but why doesn't Yogi Bear like go into rated R movies? You know, movies that aren't made from kids from the early and later 2000s. Featuring, you know, rated R movies where he's like, I don't know, talking to Neo, and Neo's like, I'm the one, and Yogi Bear's like, yeah, or whatever his catch.
Wow, that's Fred Flintstone.
Well, same shit. You know,
smarter than your average bear.
That sounds like Fred Flintstone.
It could be the same voice actor. I'm not sure.
So yeah, it is kind of sad that this feels like one of the same thing that is just being done over and over. Tom and Jerry, the new Space Jam, which we're covering on Wednesday. Tune in for that episode. And Jellystone. But, you know, for parents who grew up on this stuff, I think it's kind of cool to be able to bring it into a new generation and introduce them to these, you know, well-established and multi-generational characters at this point. So yeah, that's Jellystone. That'll be coming out this Thursday.
I mean, I've heard of jelly bracelets, but Jellystones? Not this guy's teenage daughter.
Yikes.
Okay.
So, moving on. Coming to Netflix this Thursday, part 3 of a Transformers series. And the third part is called Transformers War for Cybertron Kingdom, I believe. It's a very clunky title with 2 sets of colons that really threw me off, so I apologize for the clunky delivery there.
Brian, it doesn't matter. It's made to sell toys. That's all they care about.
So, Chris, I'm going to read part of the official description for this. It's Transformers jargon heavy. Having crash landed on Earth, Autobots and Decepticons are confronted by 2 rival Cybertronian factions from a future that their conflict has inadvertently created as the heroes and villains of the classic Beast Wars Transformers series make their War for Cybertron debut.
There's only 6 things that are nonsensical.
Yeah, things that you need total context for to have any idea.
It all made sense to me.
And like three of them were just different versions of Cybertron. Cybertron,
right.
Cybertronian.
But yes, so this is the third in a series that Netflix has put out that I haven't talked about. Chris, I didn't realize that you had watched any of these. They looked like they might not be very good, but you decided to want to add this week. So can you talk on it a little bit?
Sure. Brian and I have had conversations over the last year and a half as to whether to announce either of the other 2 trilogies in our What's Coming Out. We've always decided no, but this time's different because in this third portion of this trilogy, there will be Beast Wars characters, which I'm very excited about. So I was like, let's just tell the people. We've been talking about Beast Wars so much lately. I don't know why it keeps coming up on this podcast, but yeah, do I expect this show to be good? Not really, but I'll tune in and see, what it's about.
Yeah, you're gonna change that dial. Make sure you tune to the right radio frequency to watch Transformers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Time to tune in to the Netflix.
I saw some girl sorry for his diversion. I saw some girl on TikTok. I've been watching too much TikTok. That was like how to watch Netflix on my CRTV. And the amount of jerry rigging she had to do, which I was like, I already knew how to do it. I'm a pretty smart technical guy. But I was like, you just spent $60. Just buy it cheap.
Just to get a little taste of nostalgia.
You can sell your CRTV to like a retro gaming kid for like $800 now and buy a really nice TV that has Netflix built in. Sorry. Anyway, that's stupid.
It's all worth it.
Stupid Divergent. Anyway, TikTok girl, if you're watching on our long form YouTube podcast series,
while we're talking about Beast Wars,
if you've made it 20 minutes
You
in
heard this.
I know this content is 20 times the length of content that your brain is used to absorbing. But hopefully you made it this far. Now I'm bashing on this girl. But if you did invest this time, I would have been able to solve your problem and got you a nice TV to watch Netflix on instead of your CRTV.
TikTok woman, smash that subscribe button. This is a great recommendation from Christian.
And also, you may have a job in like a technical service area. Like you can definitely work there. You deserve a better TV, girlfriend.
Wait. I have a question. Because when you originally told this story, I thought she was intentionally choosing to use the CRTV to watch Netflix as like a, hey, look what I'm doing. Like I'm watching Netflix on old technology. Was it an instance where she only had that TV and wanted to watch Netflix? Or it was like...
Listen, the
first thing that I said.
window of the world into TikTok creators.
He didn't watch the documentary on the filming of the TikTok.
As previously stated.
The 6-minute long documentary.
Yeah, as previously stated, you don't get a whole lot of time on TikTok to really pitch your situation. But I will say it was a dark room in which she had a CRTV on the floor. So I would say she might not be in the best financial circumstance, but her camera looked good. So she has a nice, some sort of cellular product phone. Definitely not a name brand phone that I would drop on this podcast. Not here. Anyway.
So I don't know how to bring it back, but we were talking about Transformers, War for Cybertron, Kingdom, and the 6 episodes
Brian, I
of
didn't
that.
answer whether or not she couldn't afford it or not. It seemed more like Let us
know what you guys think in the comments.
In the comments.
Find that TikTok video. Let us know.
Yeah.
We're running long here. I'm going to kind of fly through the rest of these. This Friday, we've got Watch the Sound with Mark Ronson coming to Apple TV+. So Mark Ronson is a well-established record producer and DJ, as well as songwriter who's worked with people as varied as Amy Winehouse, Adele, Lady Gaga, Lily Allen, Robbie Williams, Miley Cyrus, Queens of the Stone Age, and Bruno Mars. He's gotten 7 Grammy Awards. Ridiculously established producer who's probably worked on songs that you enjoy. We just talked about, and Chris is going to be talking about a little later, 321 McCartney, which is kind of a similar idea to this, although this is Ronson talking with a wide variety of people throughout the music industry and getting into seemingly the craft and the technical progression of things like auto-tune and different things that have become ubiquitous throughout the music industry and digging into the history of them as well as how they're used. If you're into this kind of thing, I have never really looked into Mark Ronson a lot. Personally, I've heard his name thrown out a lot with the people that he's worked with. But this seems like it could be interesting and is coming to Apple TV Plus on Friday. Something that's coming to Prime Video this Friday is The Pursuit of Love. So this is an adaptation from a book by Nancy Mitford from 1945 and is a British romance drama television miniseries written and directed by Emily Mortimer. So this stars Lily James and Emily Beecham and will be 3 episodes long. I looked at a couple of different summaries for the show, and the one that I decided to go with, because I don't know if it gives anything away, but it's just much better than the other one, is longing for love and obsessed with sex. Linda is on the hunt for the perfect lover, but finding Mr. Right is much harder than she thought. I just love that could have been written today, or obviously when it was written forever ago, and it could still seem like, okay, we know this story. This is something that we know we're getting involved with, starring Lily James on Prime Video. Maybe not exactly up my alley in terms of romance drama, but I might check out an episode of this, and it's only 3 episodes, so we'll see. It could be good. Something that I'm really excited about for movies coming out this week, we've got The Green Knight coming solely to theaters this Friday. So this is the newest movie from director David Lowery. And the summary for this is King Arthur's headstrong nephew embarks on a daring quest to confront the Green Knight, a mysterious giant who appears at Camelot. Risking his head, he sets off on an epic adventure to prove himself before his family and court. In terms of remakes, King Arthur is something that has been made and remade a ridiculous amount of times. And I would generally say we probably don't need more of these movies. But then the Green Knight comes along and seems to be a totally different spin on it stylistically.
It looks really cool.
It looks really, really cool. And it also is starring Dev Patel, which is a huge selling point as well. I'm really hyped for this movie, and I'm sure we will be talking about it at some point.
Also, a shout out to, I know you're trying to get through this quickly, but I do want to say, I saw an ad for this on Instagram, and it's got to be one of the coolest social media ads I've ever seen. I know they're going real hard with social media, but I don't know if you've seen any of these, but it is just a awesome, like quick trailer that's like perfect for the format. It drew me in, and I had to be like, what is this movie? Very, very cool stuff. Had me interested.
Okay.
The full trailer looks great, so I can only imagine what a couple second trailer is.
Well, I mean, it ran long. It's like a 2-minute thing, and I watched all of it.
Okay.
You know how I feel about trailers. It might be the same one. It was just maybe that. Is it the one where they go back into like the story? Like, you may know this story, but this is actually the story. This is the original thing, and it's like really quick.
Yeah,
it's cool. It's good stuff.
Oh, I may have seen a different one actually, but yeah, that's the Green Knight coming out to theaters only this Friday. Something else is coming out this Friday to the theaters as well as PVOD on Disney Plus is Jungle Cruise. So Disney is really reaching into the dregs of their IP and now are adapting a ride that, from what I remember, doesn't really have much of a concept to it outside of cruising through a jungle. Maybe I'm wrong, but the summary for this movie is Dr. Lily, and I apologize for pronunciation here, Dr. Lily Houghton enlists the aid of wisecracking skipper Frank Wolf to take her down the Amazon in his ramshackle boat. Together, they search for an ancient tree that holds the power to heal, a discovery that will change the future of medicine. So this is directed by Jaume Collet-Serra from a story by Glenn Ficarra and John Requa, and a screenplay written by Michael Green, Ficarra, and Requa, based on the theme park ride from Disneyland. This stars Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt, as well as Jack Whitehall, Jesse Plemons, and Paul Giamatti. All-star cast. This movie is kind of huge. It's like 2.5 hours long. But with that being said, it's a good trailer. This movie could be fun in terms of action. A family.
It does look like fun.
Movie.
Have you seen the trailer?
Yes, we all saw the trailer.
Yeah.
We
did.
240, which is kind of
that's too long.
We'll see.
It's also just I'm sorry. It's hard. Not only is The Rock like a super celebrity, so you see him and you're automatically like, that's The Rock, right? It's not,
yes,
it's hard to be transported. But also he's wearing the tightest clothes, and he's a 6'4" Samoan who's like,
he doesn't look of the century. Let's just say that.
It's not even that he looks okay
of the time.
Like
I want to say I was exaggerating as well. It's 2 hours and 7 minutes.
Okay, all right, that's
reasonable.
doable.
Reasonable.
That's doable.
No, Jungle Cruise no longer than 85 minutes, please. What the fuck? Seriously. Ugh.
It looks like they're trying to kick off like a new Pirates of the Caribbean franchise with this.
Through Jungle
there's
Cruise.
A lot of from the trailer. There's a lot of monsters and mythology and all this stuff, and it very much feels like those beginning Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
I'm calling it.
And it's also produced by Jerry Bruckheimer, who also produced the Pirates of the Caribbean films.
True.
So
I'm calling it Flop City.
You probably won't be wrong.
It's The Rock, though. The Rock has been known to carry some things. So
he doesn't fit.
Yeah.
And I want to be clear. It's because he's 6'4" and he's wearing a little sailor hat. It's just like, he doesn't. They didn't have the protein science for men to get that large. Okay, they didn't crack those codes. Like, men from the 40s that look like The Rock were like kind of fat, because they didn't have clean protein. So they were just. Have you seen a guy from like the 50s or 60s with his shirt off and we're like, that's a man? It's like it's not The Rock. The Rock.
People would think he had some type of like disease.
He's got
Honestly,
the stiff muscle.
You're very swollen, sir.
He's got the stiff muscle. He's always on the ground, pumping away like a jackrabbit.
Hey, maybe they'll make these jokes in the movie, and it'll be there for it.
Yeah, self-identify. Get it out of the way.
This,
I like it.
I will say, seems like a great movie night movie with my family, and I've already confirmed that we're watching this with the family, so I'll be giving my opinions on this at some point. That's Jungle Cruise coming to theaters and Disney Plus for PVOD this Friday. The last movie, we're running long, is Stillwater. This movie is also coming only to theaters and is directed by Tom McCarthy and stars Matt Damon, Camille Cotton, and Abigail Breslin. The summary for this movie is an American oil rig roughneck travels to Marseille, France to visit his estranged daughter in prison for a murder she claims she didn't commit. So I believe this is based on a true story, which I don't know how it ended. And if I'm going to see this movie, I really don't want to look up how it ended because it seems like a relatively interesting story that gets maybe into some sexual politics as well, from what I understand with what's happening. I like to not say too much, even though I did watch some of the trailer here, the trailer for this one. Matt Damon, honestly, I'm not sure if I'm going to love this movie. It's not something that looks incredible, but I'll probably end up watching this at some point because it's based on a true story. And Abigail Breslin, I haven't seen her in a lot of things. I know she got her start in Little Miss Sunshine, which I was a big fan of, but I haven't seen her in much since then. So that's kind of a bit of a selling point as well. But that's Stillwater that is coming into theaters this Friday. And that's it for what's coming out this week, guys.
Yeah, Brian, I know it was jam-packed. You did a great job. You did miss something, though. And technically, you missed it last week because I do believe it comes out like today, or it came out a couple days ago. Oh, Sexy Beast on Netflix. Have you heard of it?
I have heard of it. I have, yeah.
I'm excited, and it stinks. I was hoping I could catch a couple episodes before we recorded this, but for those who don't know, Chris, are you aware of Sexy Beast?
I'm not aware, no.
It's a dating show where you watch couples go on several dates, like The Bachelor, but the couples that are going on the dates, what do you think the twist is? It's called Sexy Beast. What do you think the twist is?
Are they furries? I don't know.
Yep.
Basically.
But like
nailed it.
But like the gimmick is that it's so they only go off personality and so they don't know what they actually.
But the other thing, Brian,
I think I actually have heard of the show.
Is that it is completely Hollywood level.
Yeah, the prosthetics I've heard are insane. Like I saw a picture of like a dolphin girl or something, and it looked horrifying.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it does. So
from what I understand about this show, though, is that all the people are already attractive people. So it's kind of like, and maybe that's a reveal.
Well, that's the thing, is that
as they rip the thousands of dollars of prosthetics off of their face,
they're just already beautiful people.
I don't think there's going to be a scene of them doing that because you gotta wash.
Yeah, it's like an hours long process. That wouldn't be fun.
Anyway,
yeah, I'm sorry for not bringing this up, Christian. Had I known you were so hot for it,
I'm hot for Sexy Beast.
I did know of it.
Hot for Sexy Beast. What can I say? Brian, thank you so much for bringing us that news corner. Chris and Brian, thanks for doing this. For our YouTube watchers, if you want to hear the rest of the show, you just follow the link down below and subscribe to the podcast, the audio version. You can hear the rest of this app. Gentlemen, where can people find more of your work on the internet?
Loyal listeners and viewers, you can find me on Twitter at Chris Conkling, talking about all things nerdy, comic books, television, movies, video games, collectibles. If it's nerdy, I'm talking about it.
And you can find me at True Pop-O-Holic.
And you can find my band at Midnight Satire. Search for at Midnight Satire. I do have I have a TikTok now, and I have a cover
yeah, he does.
of All Eyes on Me by Bo Burnham. So at Midnight Satire, go catch it out. Catch it out. Go catch it
out.
Out of this app and onto that,
it out.
Mindless Twitter talk that kids do.
Head on over to the Twitter itch.
Doc Conk. All right, that'll do it for this episode.